Is the game sound okay with you in your headphone?
Yeah, game sounds good.
All right.
Let me just. I'm just gonna reset a couple times to. Oh, this looks good actually. Okay, I don't need to reset. All right, so I can count down whenever I want.
Yes, please.
All right, cool. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is FlintHook. This is a roguelike, but it's not really a roguelike in the speedrun sense because I don't actually rely on any drops, which is really nice. Most of the randomness in this game actually comes from the map layouts. So for every ship here, I'm going to try to get to the exit as fast as possible. And as you saw there at the start, I actually went into a dead end with like like it was a treasure room basically, but I'm not really going for a score run here, so just trying to get to the end as fast as possible. So my basic abilities, I have my gun, and I have my hook, which is the most important movement option I have. I can also wall jump as well, which is really neat. But yeah, I can basically hook to these grapple points here, like the golden rings. I can also use my hook to, some enemies actually have bubbles around them, and I can use my hook to like remove that bubble. And I have another ability that I start out with, and that's the Chrono Belt. And that allows you to, it's basically bullet time that you can activate whenever you want, so kind of like this. But I actually want to avoid using that as much as possible because it, actually slows the game down. I'll use it sometimes if I like want to try to dodge some shots that are like really tricky. Oh, this is so yeah, at the end of every ship there's a boss room. And this is kind of a bad spawn because this guy takes a while to kill. Alright, so the way this particular run is structured is that I go through 3 ships like these and then fight a boss and then do that 3 times and then I go towards the final boss at the end. Alright, so, oh wow, this is really bad luck. Okay. Usually I want to pick, I get a choice of 3 ships, like every time I want to go on a new one. And usually I want to go for the one that has the lowest difficulty ranking, since it's usually like the easiest and fastest one to go through. So the thing that I really like about this game is that it's kind of a roguelike, but it's like the randomness isn't, super crippling. It's not like you need like a specific drop to actually do like a respectable amount of damage. And in my opinion, like the most fun part of this game is just like all the combat encounters. All of the arenas are like really fun to like adapt to. And you also, like, the thing that I really like, which is a kind of a small detail, but is that, like, every time an enemy wave spawns, they can't, like, do anything for a while. Which kind of lets you, like, sort of decide in, like, a second, like, where you should be positioned and, like, what you want to do. Oh, right. I have sub-weapons. I haven't talked about those yet. There's 3 types of sub-weapons. There's bombs, skulls, and oh wait, there's 4. Never mind. I actually don't know anything about this game. No, there's bombs, skulls, snow globe, and a like helmet that makes you invincible. I'll sort of explain those as they come up. So you saw a bit earlier, I actually got a... Oh, nice. That's actually a really good place to use Skull right there. Right, so, yeah, earlier in the stage I picked up I went into a map room. Usually I'll try to, like, activate those because they point you straight to the exit. As you see on the map here, there is actually, like, 2 big skulls. Sometimes ships will have 2 boss rooms. Higher difficulty ships are, like, more likely to actually have, like, multiple boss rooms. But yeah, usually it's bad that that happens. So you actually got pretty lucky there because I got to a map room and I actually went in the right direction. No. Okay. Sometimes there's an upgrade in the shop that's really good, but that's usually pretty rare. And, like, actually buying upgrades is not really useful, in this run anyway. Since this run is actually, like, the longest run in this game. Some of the other runs in this game are, like, really short. Like, some of the other runs are, like, maybe, like, only, like, 3 stages and then a boss, but this run is like 12 stages and then, you know, all the bosses. But the reason I actually don't want to buy upgrades is that because I actually have a perk. I selected a perk loadout like at the start of the game, and one of the perks is called, I think it's called Midas damage or something, but anyway, what that means is that it gives me extra damage, like the more gold I have. So every 500 gold I deal 2 more damage per shot, which is really good. It's probably the best upgrade in this game. I'm gonna use my snow globe here because lots of stuff is happening. Okay. So usually I don't want to take damage ever, really, but well, actually sometimes I do. Sometimes there are hazard rooms that are really difficult to go through and take a long time if you don't take a damage boost, but usually I don't actually want to take damage. And the reason being is that every time I do finish an arena, there is a chest that drops with money and health. And you save about, I'd say, like 3 to 4 seconds on average if you skip the chest. So I'll try not to get hit too much here. But for the beginning of this run, I'll take it pretty safe. I'll pick up some chests here and there. Alright, so now that I defeated, I've gone through 3 ships, I have to fight a boss. So this is, right now what I'm going through is the Gwarlock campaign, which is basically like the full game category in this game. So I fight every single boss. Well, every single main boss. There are extra bosses that you could fight, but that's something else entirely. That's sort of like a good ending thing. So even though this is the first boss, he's actually like probably the hardest boss in this game. Uh, the difficulty, in my opinion, is not really tuned properly. Like actually following this guy around and staying on him and doing good damage is actually really difficult. Most of the other bosses just kind of stay in one place. He also has like a spread shot, which is like really hard to avoid sometimes. So at the end of every boss, I do get the big chest at the end, which is usually has an apple in it, which is 10 health. But I also get like a red potion, which is 50. So if I take a little bit of damage here, I'm not really gonna lose too much health in the long run. I'm losing a little bit of extra health, but this is not a big deal. All right. So I guess the lore, I guess, of this game, or of this run, I guess, is that you're sort of trying to recruit like all of the space pirate captains to like fight the final boss. And you recruit them by beating the heck out of them. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. This is fine. So I haven't really talked about like what I'm basically doing this run on like a new game plus file. So you actually start the game. This is sort of like a game that has like a persistent progression system. Like the more you play it, so you actually start out with like 100 health when you like start playing the game. But right now I have like 200, and I also have like all of my perk points. So I have like a bunch of upgrades. Right now I have like all of the movement speed upgrades, which is like the reason I'm moving so dang fast. And I have a couple of other upgrades as well. Like the main ones, like I said before, was the man, this room is really annoying. But yeah, the main damage perk that I have right now is the Midas power, which gives me gives my shots 2 extra damage for every 500 gold I have. And it caps at 2,500. which is actually the amount of gold that I'll have around the end of the run, which like really works out really well. I also have long shot, so I think if I have long shot, that makes my it like basically doubles my shot range, which is really nice. It basically that upgrade is really important because it basically allows me to stay in like the middle of battle rooms and then just kind of shoot everyone like real fast without like it reduces me like going all over the place to shoot enemies basically. And I think the other last thing I have is just like the extra hook range, which is really nice because of like sometimes like the basic hook range is all right, but if you get that upgrade and it's like really cheap, it really helps you out in platforming. Oh, I haven't really talked about these walls. Those walls basically like disappear, like if you use your time belt. Okay. There are also some other enemies that you can only hurt while the game, or like while you're using your time slowdown. I haven't actually run into those yet, actually. But they're like these dogs with like wrecking balls attached to them. So the green enemies here are basically like super versions of the like regular enemies. They usually like shoot more bullets and like shoot more frequently and have a little bit more health. Oh boy, okay. Man, that was a really good ship. I was pretty much took a straight line to the exit. I kind of wish you could skip all these cutscenes like every time after you beat a ship, but no such luck. The in-game time in this run is actually like significantly lower than the real time. I think it's like 10 minutes on average, which is pretty ridiculous for a game that's only like 50-ish minutes long. So these red slime, I don't even know how to call these, but yeah, the dudes with the spiky helmets actually lunge at you once you move in their line of sight. They're not very common enemies, but they're really annoying. Oh man. So I got a little bit unlucky there. I went into a cul-de-sac. Oh, dang. Man, really? Alright. That's kind of unlucky. So yeah, this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, about staying in the middle of the room and just kind of shooting everything. Really good upgrade. Oh man, I should have picked that up. Oh well. Oh. I think I'm gonna get every single room on this ship, which doesn't happen very often, but it's this kind of stuff that happens sometimes when you try to make a guess and it doesn't really work out. Oh jeez, alright. Oh man, really? One bad thing about the snow globe is that it actually freezes everything, including enemy shots, which can make it can be really awkward using it sometimes. Oh jeez. Alright. If you get hit by one of those electric orbs, not only does it actually do damage, but it actually makes you not able to shoot for like 3 seconds, which is really bad. Oh, okay. I forgot. I lost track of the stages. But yeah, this is Gold Feathers, which is the second boss in this game. A lot easier than Bad Billy, for sure. Oh, all right. So Gold Feathers is gonna stay in the middle of the stage for the whole fight, and he'll like expose a weak point, and I'll basically be able to hurt him after I do that. But the reason this boss fight is really easy is that you can just stick to the corners and then move to the middle, and then go up, and then just lay waste to him. Oh wow, I have a lot of gold. I just noticed. If I do manage to get into a shop that has a good item, I'll probably buy it. Oh wow, jeez. So I can just stay here and move in the middle once the alarm goes off. Pretty easy boss. So I found it pretty funny that after you beat every single boss in this campaign, they're really pissed, but then they're like really stoked about it. Like they're really happy that they just got their asses destroyed. Oh wow, really? It's super rare that I get a 2 at this point late in the run. That's really weird. I don't know what the deal with that is. Oh, jeez. All right. Aw, dang. No. Oh, wow. Cheeky. Dang, dude. I'm getting destroyed. So if you touch these laser beams, or these time beams, I guess you could call them, you'll sort of bounce off of them. And there's actually some rooms where you have to bounce in between some of them, and it's really awkward to do. Oh, I forgot to say, like, there was a room I entered there that was, that's called the Gamblinger, so it's basically like a Russian roulette with like curses and like actual perks that help you. Curses in this run are, the only beneficial thing about curses is that they actually grant you experience, but since I already have everything I could get from experience, they're basically useless to me. So I usually, when I see a Gamblinger, I usually just skip them because usually what they have is not super great to begin with, and it takes time to actually go over there and take from it. Ah, dang. So that's like a voluntary battle room. You can actually start a fight there and get the chest at the end, but you know, that takes time. So skipping it. And I don't really need like drops, like I said. Nothing useful there, unfortunately. Ah. I'm gonna start taking chests now because I'm a little bit low on health, although not too much. Oh, that was easy. I'm actually doing really well. I think I might be on PV pace. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, like every ship has like variants, so like some ships will have like extra flying enemies or like extra spikes or extra lasers, etc., etc. Stuff like that. I don't really pay attention to them too much in this run, just because I'm being like timed in real time. But if this game is timed in in-game time, just because it's like a more accurate timer. So if I was doing like a more like serious run, I would probably spend a little bit more time choosing which ship I want to go in. Oh yeah, something I didn't mention. This game was actually made in Quebec, so that's neat. This game is actually localized in French. Well, this language. This game is available in English, French, and Japanese, which is like a really, really weird set of languages to have your game in. It's a pretty unique set of languages. Ah, dang. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my invincibility helmet here. All right, so that was the last ship, like standard ship that I just did. So from here on out, it's only bosses. Unfortunately, I didn't really find a good upgrade that I could buy anywhere. But that's not really a big deal. Oh yeah, this is kind of late for me to mention this, but this is a roguelike, which means that, you know, if I die, it's the run's over, but that's not gonna happen. I literally cannot die. It's impossible. But yeah, just a reminder. So this boss is kind of similar to Gold Feathers. I basically just stay in the corner until I bring these two alarms down. The attacks here are like fairly easy to deal with as long as I stay on the wall. Ah, dang. Those bombs can really, can be kind of awkward to aim. Just because they arc, like their arc is super, super short. They don't really go super far. Aw, dang. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, cool. Dang. I was hoping to get a good sub-weapon for the last boss, but I didn't really get anything, so that's kind of unfortunate. Hopefully I get a drop in the boss room that will help me out. Alright, so this is the very last stage. So first phase of this boss is basically like a enemy wave rush, and then the actual like real final boss. So this is 16 waves of enemies. So like every time I beat a wave, that's like minus 10 or minus 100 health from the boss at the bottom right there. So here's our buddies helping us out. I don't really know what's going on here. Like, this guy built like a ghost machine, and then like he's trying to steal the ghost's powers. Like I think you're a Ghostbuster or something in this game. I'm not sure. There's actually like a full page of like lore items that you collect, but I never read any of it, so I actually don't know what's going on. Oh. You can get the bomb to bounce off the wall and then hit that guy, but it's kind of weird to aim. Come on. Aw, dang. So if I take a little bit of damage here, again, it's not too bad. I think I get 75 health after this phase of the boss fight. Dang. Oh no, dang. I used that too early. I meant to use it right after I meant to use it right after they become vulnerable, which I did a little bit early. And that's one of the worst waves to deal with because they sort of move around all over the place and it's tough to follow them. Alright, only one more wave left. Oh, God. This wave is actually pretty rare, but it's probably the worst one to get. Because you have to, this guy takes quite a bit to kill. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So the boss fight at the end here is actually pretty easy. At this point in the game, I just do so much damage that I'll probably kill him in under like 30 seconds. Oh, something I forgot to mention is that every time you do a critical shot, your shot actually goes through the enemy. And all of the weak points of this boss are like clustered together. So you can get like a quadruple critical hit basically, which is just deals a ridiculous amount of damage. Ah, dang. So you can tell where he's gonna attack depending on like where he's looking. So I'm trying to avoid those giant tentacles there. Aw, dang. I'm just gonna damage boost through the rest of this if I can. Alright. Time isn't yet. Or actually, well, yeah, that's gonna take a while. I don't know if you wanna like end the run right now. It's like I end time like after credits, but you can end time now, I guess, if you really want to. The credits take a very long time. So this is actually like the good ending, but in this run I didn't really do any of the ghost ships that you need to do for good ending, but like once you unlock the good ending on a profile, you get the good ending like whenever you beat the game. So I think the good ending actually takes like the last cutscene is a little bit longer. But yeah, I guess we'll wait until the end of the credits for time to actually end. This game was made by a very, very small amount of people, which is really cool. All right, time is soon. Time. Nice. I'm gonna look at my in-game time here. I think I might actually have PB. Oh, dude, I PB by like a minute. Jesus Christ. All right, cool. That's really nice. Wow. Okay. Man, I couldn't have asked for anything better. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for watching. That was FlintHook. Hope you enjoyed.